What is up, guys? Ninja Nick back with another round of this Champions League tournament in Japan. We do have, it looks like, some sort of dark deck here on the left versus the maybe a water deck. It's hard to tell, but those sleeves being that color of blue definitely signifies to me there's probably water. I also want to say that's a water energy in hand, but you guys already know from the thumbnail exactly what this match is. So we do see the concealed cards discarding a water energy to draw 2, and it's double battle VIP pass. That is pretty major. So if this is maybe Lost Box or Chien-Pao, they will be coming out super far ahead here. And it looks like it is another Chien-Pao deck, as we saw in the previous match. And of course they are wearing a Frigibax shirt, so kind of identifying to their opponent exactly what they are on. Unfortunate this dark deck did get to go first, but all it was an attach for the turn to the Moltres. The Moltres is not a good starter. It does have, I believe, a 2 retreat cost, and also it has an ability where if you bench it from your hand, you can attach 2 darkness energies to it from your hand immediately with the effect. So it honestly very much of a bad starter. You really want to be benching that as often as you can, and not having any other outs here. No Darkrai Vs at all. I'm assuming this is a Darkrai VSTAR deck, more than likely. I don't see what else it could possibly be, but we are going to retreat here using a water energy from that Greninja to retreat into the Chien-Pao to Shivery Chill. Thin that deck of a couple energy cards. You can use those on the next turn to conceal some more cards with Radiant Greninja, drawing some more cards. And we've got that Arceus V on the bench also from that second battle VIP pass. As I said in the previous game, Arceus VSTAR is really great in this deck. It can search like a Rare Candy and an Irida or something like that, to be able to allow you to just kind of set up very, very well here. Now, let's see if our player on the left is able to do anything this turn. We do see an Ultra Ball, so we will find out if this is indeed a Darkrai VSTAR deck or not. It looks like we are going to Ultra Ball away a Switch and a Bibarel. I guess Bibarel not super useful here if you don't have the Bidoof down already. Might as well just thin your hand of some stuff you can't use this turn. Maybe try to research or something, or INO, and try to get yourself to as many bench Pokemon as possible just to try to set up. You definitely need those Pokemon in play, like the Moltres V will allow you to get a energy out of your discard pile to attach to yourself, but it looks like we're trying to go for the consistency here. I do kind of like this play. It is a little bit risky in the fact that you're not getting a potential attacker out, but also you are going to be able to draw some extra cards here. So maybe if you don't have a supporter that you can use, it looks like we do have the Professor's Research Oak here. Getting rid of a Dark Patch is not something you ever like to see. Also, that energy switch could have been super useful as well on a future turn, but you got to do what you got to do, discarding your hand to draw as many cards as possible just to set up. You are struggling in this situation now. You got to go as fast as possible, even if you have to get rid of some resources. And we do see at least a couple of darkness energies here we can use for the concealed cards. So looks like it is working out. Did we even draw 2 with the Greninja, or did we just draw? I think we did draw 2. Okay, no, he only drew 1 with it, so yeah, it looks like he had triple darkness energy at the front of his hand. Did end up finding the Darkrai V, was so excited that he drew it off the first card from the concealed cards that he forgot to draw the second card, with the judges there being completely on top of that. We are going to see the attachment of the darkness energy to the Darkrai VSTAR here. And a Dark Patch as well. That's going to start loading this guy up. We do need to evolve on the next turn. Hopefully Chien-Pao does not have the cross switcher play on this next turn, which can easily be pieced together with the Arceus VSTAR and Irida. So we'll have to see if that will be a thing. Being able to take out the Darkrai V here will probably spell the fate of our Darkrai player. I would really love to see Darkrai take a game here, but a little unfortunate that it is just not a good deck. I was very excited for it when it was first announced, but just does not do enough. It is a little bit too slow in the format, especially having to evolve here. Looks like we are going to go for the VSTAR power of the Arceus VSTAR. The Star Birth, going to search our deck for any 2 cards. Looks like we are picking up that Irida, potentially. Gonna flip that face down because you do not have to reveal. If it is any card from your deck, you can keep that information private, which is really nice. The only times you have to reveal cards is when you're searching for a specific type of card, like if you're searching, like with Irida, a water Pokemon and a item card, you have to reveal both of those so that you can allow your opponent to check to make sure you search for the correct types of cards. But since Starbirth is any 2 cards, you do not have to reveal that, which is a fantastic interaction there. So we are going to go immediately for the Irida. I would have just cut out the step of shuffling the deck there. Just saved a little bit of time because, you know, time is always a factor in any match. You want to make sure that you save as much time as possible to make sure that you have the option to win. And as I said in the previous round, ties in Japan are a double game loss. You do not actually get ties, you get losses for both players, so you're just hurting your own resistance by not playing to the fast enough speed that you could possibly be. So here we go for the rare candy into the Baxcalibur. I see the rare candy came down. Where is the Baxcalibur? There it is. I guess just waiting for the opponent to finish the deck cut before going into the Baxcalibur. But again, time, very important here. So we are just going to load 2 energy onto the Chien-Pao and retreat it. Oh, are we going to go for a Moonlight Shuriken here? That seems a bit odd. No, we're going to go for the Cross Switcher. There it is. So we are going to be able to move that Chien-Pao back to the active spot. Yeah, I don't like that. I think that you should have cross-switchered first, then retreated the Greninja, because then you would have had to retreat 1 less energy. But I suppose it doesn't matter in the end because you're getting the same amount of energy back either way with that superior energy retrieval. There was only 4 in the discard pile. It would have been 3 if you retreated it off the Greninja instead. We're going to load 4 energy onto that Chien-Pao because that is enough to one-shot this Darkrai V. And yeah, that's basically just winning the game here. We're going to even load some extra energies down to the Arceus VSTAR just so that they're in play. Honestly, I think in this scenario, I would have liked to see one of the energies stay on the Chien-Pao just in case something happens to your Baxcalibur out of nowhere. That you still have the ability to attach just 1 energy from hand to your Chien-Pao. I think that's a little bit of a suboptimal play. I don't think it'll matter in the slightest. But say your opponent is playing Dark Patch, attaches for turn to the Moltres, then like double cross switchers brings up the Baxcalibur and knocks it out. I don't think that it's doing enough damage at this point though to even do that, so I don't think that matters. I think it does 50 for each prize card your opponent has taken, plus like a base 10 or 20, something like that. Looks like we're going to go for an Ekans as well. I'm not sure what the Ekans is for. I'm sure that there is an Arbok in format that maybe combos very well with this deck. I would have to see. Oh yes, there is an Arbok EX. Let's see what that Arbok EX does. Arbok EX. For 2 darkness, 70. A defending Pokemon can't retreat. 3 darkness energy, menacing fangs, 150. Your opponent discards 2 cards. Okay. And it's from Pokemon 151, so we will be getting that in our upcoming format. Of course, this format in Japan being 151 legal, that is the only difference from our format. So this will be our upcoming format as soon as that set is released. So we get to look a little bit forward ahead to see how the meta changes. I don't think it'll change too much overall, but I do know that there are some key cards that are pretty decent that are in that set. I think every single one of the original 151 Pokemon is printed in the set, and then of course there are some trainers and things along those lines as well. I know some people are hyping up the Zapdos, some people are hyping up the Wigglytuff. Both of those are Pokemon EX. Looks like we are just going to retreat into the Moltres and pass the turn. Yeah, I think that this is pretty much Jover, if I had to say anything about it. Now, another thing that not a lot of people do in this deck is they could also play double Arceus V-Star, like a 2-2 line. And then in this situation, you could actually bench the Arceus V, load up your V-Star, and then Trinity Nova to the Arceus V-Star to get even more energy in play for use with the Chien-Pao. I'm not opposed to having the 2-2 Arceus V-Star line in there. It's just so hard to find the room for it, because you do have to play with the Baxcalibur as well. But if there was like a consistent way to get out the Baxcalibur, if maybe we had like Archie's hidden, what was it? Archie's, no, it was Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick and Archie's Ace in the Hole. If they like reprinted Archie's Ace in the Hole, you could get the Baxcalibur out that way. I would see you being able to fit a 2-2 Arceus V-Star line in there. But yep, looks like we are going to boss up another Darkrai V-Star, take another 2 prizes, and we are on a 4-prize lead here. And this Darkrai deck still does not have the energy in play to attack with anything at all. And this Darkrai deck, the way that it operates is that it tries to load as much energy into play as possible so that its Darkrai V-Star's Dark Pulse attack can do quite a lot of damage. I do believe it does, I think it's like 30 plus 30 for each darkness energy you have in play. But we were already down, what, 3 dark patches now after using that one and an attach return. We already have a Moltres in play, so we can't attach any extra energies from our hand this turn necessarily. We do get the V-Star power of the Darkrai V-Star though. That does allow you to search your discard pile for 2 item cards, put them into your hand, and we're going to go for the double dark patch. So Darkrai V-Star still doing what it can to start loading up. We can Dark Patch once to the Darkrai V-Star, and then we can Dark Patch again probably to the Moltres, or we could spread those energies out and put one to the Ekans as well. And that second Dark Patch is supposed to be in your hand here. I'm not sure why he still has it sitting off to the side of his discard pile. Maybe this is a bit of a newer player or inexperienced. Oh, okay. So he's going to play. Okay, so I guess that was the Dark Patch that was played and the other one was in hand. Okay. So, yeah, you got to clean up the board. You can only have one discard pile, so that can end up causing a bit of a confusing game state. So whenever you do play a card, I do like putting it straight into the discard pile for the most part. Sometimes you can just put it, you know, to the right of your active Pokemon, but then after it's used, you got to make sure you always put it directly into the discard pile. We are going to see another Professor's Research, getting rid of a Boss's Orders as well as another Darkness Energy. But we were able to get quite a few Darkness Energies into play this turn. Now we just have to see, can we get any more? We're doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 150 it looks like right now. We're just like one Dark Patch short of being able to take a knockout, I believe. Opponent does have to read the Arbok EX, probably is not experienced in playing against it because it is a bit of an oddity. Although if you can get it set up with the 3 energy on it and discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand, that is a pretty powerful effect. Although I don't think that it's worth it in a Darkrai deck. I think you just really want to just load up as much energy onto these other Darkness Pokemon as you can, just to power up the Darkrai. Usually you just try to one-shot things with the Darkrai with the baby Moltres. With the big Moltres can get you more energy out of your discard pile as well. And it does not synergize very well with that Path to the Peak, but Path to the Peak is going to shut off that Shivery Chill. It would have been a lot nicer to have that in play earlier in the game, but... Ooh, we're going to go for an Escape Rope? What? I guess we're just going to try to stall another turn. I think that what you have to do here is there is a chance the Darkrai deck can still win. If you can get one more energy into play on this next turn and the path to the peak sticks, maybe you don't see your opponent put any more energy into play, and then you go Boss's Orders or Cross Switcher up the Baxcalibur, knock it out, and make sure your opponent is never able to get any more energies into play, and then you could just kind of sweep from there with the Darkrai. That is kind of your only out at this point, and there is only 9.5 minutes left on the clock, so we are going to have to see if that's even potential. But it looks like we just Ultra Ball for the Bidoof and pass. That is going to make it a lot harder for you. You can't use that Greninja under the path to the peak, so your own path now hurting you. Gonna have to attach for turn here. We really need to find that last Dark Patch. If we can find that last Dark Patch here, we will be able to have enough energy in play. Actually, do we have 3? No, yeah, we need 1 more energy in play in order to knock out that Baxcalibur. But even if we do knock out the Baxcalibur, that Bidoof is going to be able to evolve into a Bibarel, allow the opponent to be able to potentially find their way to another Rare Candy Baxcalibur. So I don't think it's likely that this Darkrai deck can come back, but that Iono here is going to be pretty detrimental. Putting that hand to 2 cards, if they can't find the Bibarel, that's not going to be set up very well. We've already attached for turn to this Greninja. I think you're safe to just pass here and just hope your opponent doesn't have it off of that Iono. Looks like we are going to retreat into the Moltres. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think that what I would have done is, if I was going to retreat into the Darkrai VSTAR and knock out the Frigibax, just to make sure there's one less Frigibax in play. Looks like we are going to go for a Pokestop to remove that path to the peak. Also mill some cards. Looks like we are getting a Nest Ball, so that is a pretty dead. I think just putting the Pokestop in play would have been fine, but I guess we're probably looking for a superior energy retrieval, so maybe those mills don't matter too much. We could have also found an Ultra Ball for the Bibarel. Would have been really great here. You have enough cards in hand to play the Bibarel, or to play the Ultra Ball for the Bibarel. But it looks like we are going to go for the switch into Shivery Chill. That will search the deck for 2 energy cards. That will not be enough to take the knockout here, but you can at least maybe put them in play. And there is only 1 left in the deck. We're really hurting for a superior energy retrieval right now. And this is very odd. You would have thought that the Chien-Pao deck was just going to sweep the whole game, but the Darkrai deck is managing to piece together ways to kind of break the consistency of Chien-Pao. But it looks like we were able to find an Irida off of that concealed cards, discarding the last remaining water energy you have access to between your hand and deck, most likely. And now we're going to be able to Irida. Looks like we're going to grab a Luminion for a potential bench on a future turn if something gets knocked out. And then the superior energy retrieval will allow us to be able to find 4 water energy from the discard pile and actually take the knockout this turn. So that will put us at 1 prize card remaining, and we will just have to find 1 additional knockout for the rest of the game, and I think that is highly doable. You have the Bidoof in there to become Bibarel at any point. I think do you need 2 energies or 3 energies to knock this out? I can't remember if the Moltres has 120 or 130 HP. I'm assuming at this point that it has 130 because only 2 of those energies came down, but I would like to see the rest of those energies maybe get attached to the Arceus, because you could always Trinity Nova for a knockout if the yeah, there we go. If the Chien-Pao does go down for whatever reason. And yeah, because you retreated into that Moltres, you now gave your opponent the option to take 2 more of your own energy cards out of the game. You could have left the Greninja in the active and only lost 1 darkness energy and still been able to potentially have the knockout this turn. And you just kind of choked there, I would say. So definitely a lot of suboptimal plays here from this Darkrai deck. And at this point, again, with the Chien-Pao at 1 prize card remaining, they have multiple turns in order to try to find the final 1 prize that they need. Because the Darkrai deck is still at 6 prize cards, needs to take all 6 of those before they are able to win the game off of you. So can you take 1 prize card before your opponent takes 6? I think that is more than likely. And I think that if I'm this Chien-Pao player, off of this escape rope, I probably would honestly feel safe even promoting that Arceus VSTAR. I just need 1 attach for turn to it, and then maybe a boss's orders or something in order to bring up an Ekans or the Bidoof in order to take the game. But it looks like we're going to put the Frigibacks up just because we know it will get knocked out. Allow our opponent to take that 1 prize card, keeping damage off of this Arceus VSTAR, and now we can promote it. It depends on what is in the hand here from Chien-Pao. We do have that Luminion, remember, but the Path of the Peak is down yet again. So we will not be able to use that. We do not have any more energies in our deck, even if we did have the ability to use Shivery Chill. So we are going to have to find exactly a superior energy retrieval. So going to promote that Arceus VSTAR because it does have the most health, and it is possible that Darkrai can still steal the game here. If we could see maybe a 2-shot on this Arceus, the path still sticking, the hand still staying small, not finding an Ultra Ball, not finding the Bibarel, we could actually see this game get swept by this 1 Darkrai VSTAR. Gotta attach an experience share to the active. That only works when the active Pokemon is knocked out. It puts an energy from that Pokemon to the Pokemon the EXP share is attached to. So that really should have gone to the Ekans in my opinion, or Ekans or the Arbok. More likely the Arbok in my opinion, in case the Darkrai does get knocked out. But I guess it doesn't matter because if you do get knocked out, your opponent's going to win the game anyway. But if you also play something along the lines of Choice Belt, I would have liked to see the tool not be attached to the Darkrai in that scenario, just so that you could potentially boost your damage output. Looks like we might be going for a 3-shot here now. We've got, what, 110 on it, it looks like? Or maybe it's 210? Is that other 100 still on it? Are we going to retreat it? Ooh, that feels really bad. I mean, it could still be fine, because, again, all you need is a superior energy retrieval to win the game. Looks like we are going to retreat into a Chien-Pao, just to try to stall for more turns. And yes, it does look like it is 210 damage on it. And just a pass from there. So yeah, this Darkrai deck might actually win just off the power of the Path to Peak, but that deck is only a few cards left. It looks like 2 cards left in the deck. Will we even have the turns in order to take the game? I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. I do think that there are... Is there at least a judge in hand, maybe? Maybe you could try to shuffle your hand back into the deck. Yeah, it looks like there is at least 1 judge in hand, so you could wait until you deck yourself out and then judge yourself to have a bigger deck. But it looks like the Bibarel finally comes out here. We are going to be able to draw some extra cards, and are we able to find that superior energy retrieval we need? No, we do not. And we are going to go for the judge here. I think maybe a turn early, but you are trying to disrupt your opponent here as well, so I don't disagree with that play. And you are going to be able to take 2 prize cards here, going down to 3 remaining. Do you have the turns to get the Darkness Energies in play to knock out enough of your opponent's Pokemon before you deck out is the real question here. We are setting up our secondary attacker here in the Arbok. If the Darkrai does get damaged, we could always retreat into the Arbok, start discarding cards out of our opponent's hand. Maybe all of those misplays were just able to put yourself in a position to where you could... Oh, no, and then here's the Irida for the superior energy retrieval. So, let's see, you need... If you get 4 energies back, that's not even enough, right? No, it is, because you retreat into the... No, you're still 1 energy short of being able to retreat into the Greninja. Oh, double superior energy retrieval. Was holding it for the turn where you could go for double and then just load it all into the Chien-Pao and take the knockout. Yeah, that was very smart to hold the superior until the turn where you could play double, knowing that you had to get through the higher HP Darkrai VSTAR. So pretty well played by the Chien-Pao player. Almost was actually able to lose that just off the path to the peak Iono. But yeah, Darkrai just played a little too suboptimally the entire game. Did brick the first turn. And I think that that could have definitely been Darkrai's game to win if they just played a little bit better. Did not just throw away a whole bunch of their energies by letting a bunch of one-prizers that have energies get knocked out and retreating them and all that. I think that that was a lot of suboptimal play there. But as always, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Very important for that YouTube algorithm. We will see you guys next time for the next round of this Japan Champions League.